Hello and thank you for tuning in to this short video. Here we're going to cover some of the really cool ways we can utilize a couple of tools uh, to make note-taking and organization and finding information really easy. And we're going to be using, in this example, the application Notability that is on an iPad, as well as the tool Google Drive. Now, Google Drive is part of the Google for Education product platform that has things like docs and sheets and slides and Gmail and Classroom and a variety of other tools. So what we're going to look at this application is how we can leverage some organizational strategies that are going to make note-taking really, really easy. One of the components I think that's important to look at is when you're looking at notes, especially in a one-to-one environment where students are going to be in multiple classes, multiple days, taking notes in a variety of different ways. Some students are going to go ahead and handwrite them. Others might take pictures. Others are just going to type in information on keyboards if they have that connected to their iPad. But having a strategy to find the information once we've put it in is really the important part here, because otherwise you get information overload. And what we're going to do here is create a quick note in the test notebook. You'll see here by default this gets created with the date and time. And at the moment I'm going to go ahead and be using the keyboard entry, which you'll see along the top is selected with the T and the blue fill. Now a lot of us I think are familiar with concepts of hashtagging from social networking. And these are just ways that we can quickly, easily find related information. I'm going to go ahead and just create this here called sample note history WW2 for World War II. So this is a way that I'm just going to put some information into this note to start out that is going to make finding it a lot easier down the road. So students should maybe try to find their own strategy. If you're a teacher and you work in a team environment, maybe within your team you can find a consistent way to just note and have information that's consistent across the classroom so it's easy to find. In this case, I'm just going to be a quick student that was a turning point in world history. And the other cool ability we have here is to take notes and also to draw. So we're just going to pretend that I'm switching over to a different class where I'm going to try to draw a 3D shape. And it's not too good, so we're just going to kind of put a sad 3D box here. Now that we're done with this note, we're going to tap the back arrow on the top left-hand corner to return back to the notebook. And if you notice, as soon as we switch back, look at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. We have a little box that popped up said backing up. And you might wonder, how is this backing up? Within the settings for the application, which we can access on the bottom left-hand corner, we have auto backup set to work with Google Drive. Now, I think what's really important in having a successful one-to-one is making it so that students can work on any device at any time and have access to all their information. Some of the times if you're working on a larger project, you might do this on a computer at a library or a computer at home. Moments when the iPad is going to be a great tool for that. But the key part here is we want to leverage cloud platforms so that information I have on one device is accessible no matter where I go. And to do that, we're going to switch here and we're going to go into Google Drive. Now, when Notability syncs, what it does is it creates a folder in your Drive, and we see one here called Notability, and we see a notebook corresponding for each folder. We're going to look at tests, and we're going to see, hey, today we had a note created. Now, if you remember, we used the concept of the hashtag, and we just decided to use it that way. You don't necessarily need to use the hash symbol at the front, but if we go here and we type in hashtag sample note, Drive is automatically going to find that file. And the reasoning behind this is Google Drive performs optical character recognition on PDFs. Because we typed this information in using the keyboard, it made it really, really simple to find this information. Now what's neat about that is, let's say instead of using sample note, I want to find any information that has World War II in it. So we see here, this is ways that we can have this information work across curriculum. If you have math, maybe talking about word problems focused on scale of World War II, and maybe history notes that talk about what happened, and you can have other categories that focus on literature during that era, you would see notes corresponding to all of that. Here we're just going to try to refine this by the tags World War II in history. So now you'll see this one note. So what's really neat about this is it's a cool way that we can go ahead and find this information really quickly, independent of the device that's used. I think another awesome idea that this works with is the speed. So I'm going to say, thanks for watching. And unfortunately, we're going to draw over our little box a little bit. But what's neat about this is I can go right now at this note, I'm going to refresh the page, jump back in, and you're going to see this information appear really quickly. I think a great advantage of using this type of concept is we have information that's accessible on multiple devices, but this allows us to leverage the unlimited storage capacity we get when using Google for Education. This is incredibly important if you really have a long, drawn-out one-to-one program that sits with students for a variety of years. These notebooks can now give you a very longitudinal view at student progress and have cool ways to look and access information a student might have put together in 4th grade all the way up to 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th and have it be easily referenceable.